Wonderful. So let's talk about Agile from a testing perspective, and Agile is supposed to power up digital projects. So yes, let's okay, and let me try to be a bit provocative here. If you think about the software testing service industry, it has named quality assurance for about 10 to 15 years. And to be fair, this is a vibrant industry. I'm honestly can say it. As in the vendors in the service industry have invested into the tools, into the service portfolio. 10 years ago, you were talking about functional testing. Now you're talking about a lot of different things, functional, non-functional, code testing, big data testing, data testing. It's humongous. Test support, service virtualization. So honestly, this industry has been very good at expanding and providing new offerings and also backing them up by IP, which is good for us because it's supposed to be a repeatable service as opposed to relying on the cleverness of a few individuals. So when it's repeatable, we like it. So back to my discussion, very, very creative industry. But then the question is, all that has been done, that has been about making testing a better process, a better activity. Have we gone further down the line of improving the quality of software? Some people will say, yes, but you do have the static analysis code tools from Coverity, from CAS, from SonarQube, so you can increase the, you can increase the quality of software and reduce the magic word technical debt. Now, mind you, those tools, two comments on those tools, they're largely used by development teams, not by testing teams. And second of it, those tools, their adoption has not been as dramatic as we were expecting it to be. So if you look into the sales, which is a good indicator of what's going on, this is a sort of a niche industry. But finally, with Agile and the iterative process, we're progressing down that line of increasing the quality of software. It's iterative, it's very pragmatic, and we know it's one step towards better software. Now, is that what quality assurance is supposed to be? I don't know. I don't know what quality assurance is. All I know is for the first time in many, many years, we've got Agile, and we know it's probably going to improve the quality of the software. And again, not to look down at quality assurance from a testing perspective, it's been wonderful. It's been about efficiencies, but finally, in our opinion, we're going towards improving the quality of software and decreasing the technical debt. From an HR perspective, so you've got Agile, and the big questions that we've been facing is, how is that going to work? Then, because obviously you've got different models that are possible, you can still have the development teams and the testing teams working together, and that's a model that's going to continue working. You'll also have more visibility, more work, more testing work done by developers, and then you're going to have more automation supporting the work of developers. That's another model that is working in some areas. Another model would be the testers to be able to fix the problems they identify. So we've got three different models happening at this point. And at this point, the mainstream model is actually the good old separation between Agile, between developers and testers. Looking ahead though, we've done a bit of a benchmark. And we know for now that from the new projects in ADM, in software development and maintenance, we'll probably guess, and this is not rocket science, we'll probably guess that 40% of new projects now are on Agile technologies, or methodologies, I should say. Now, what do I do with that number? I compare it with the number of testers across the world that do provide Agile testing, that we're being told are working on Agile projects. And I've got, when I refer back to that number, I've got 5 to 10% of all career testers in the world working on Agile. So I've got a discrepancy that is not self-explanatory, that I cannot explain, and that is fairly hard to understand. So why do I have such a big number of new Agile projects and such a low number of Agile testers? And we think this is the model where the developers are going to increasingly do some testing work. This is not going to be the more prominent model, but that model is coming to strength. Now, from a delivery perspective, that's quite interesting, because again, you need help on automation. And from a skills perspective, you also need to retrain quite a bit those developers. And again, they need to know how to use those automation tools. And that's going to have some impact as well on the testing teams. Obviously, a lot of the work that the QA testers is going to shift to what we call specialized testing services, so away from functional automation or functional manual testing, manual functional, away toward more value-add service, I should say. And value-add is sort of a very generic term, so let me be specific. It could be anything towards what we call test support services, so the service virtualization, data management, test environment. So there are many, many, many things that testers now are going to go into. So this is the future. It's not a revolution, this is an evolution, and vendors like Stignity will be fairly easily able to transition those skills. But the world is changing.